Hello, and welcome to Powerwash Simulator. My name is Tabby, and I'm glad that you're here. I thought today we could do something a little bit different. Something just other than killing stuff and shooting zombies. I also wanted to talk about why I started this channel. So, trigger warning. I might talk about some sensitive stuff. I might get there, I might not. We'll see. Have you guessed where we are yet? We're in a pineapple under the sea. Well, we're not inside the pineapple exactly. We're just, we're right here. Oh, I'm gonna turn that volume down for me a little bit. There we go. I hope it's not too loud for you. Oh, this game is so satisfying. I'm just gonna turn that down a little bit more. I really hope it's not super loud for you. Maybe a little bit up. Our shoes squeak when we walk in this too. Oh, that's perfect. There we go. Yeah. Well, okay, so the first thing I want to talk about... Also, can we just appreciate... I used to watch SpongeBob, look at the little jelly booba back there. One over there, too. I used to watch SpongeBob with my little brother. There's a bit of an age difference between us, but, you don't have to be super young to watch SpongeBob. It's funny. I love the first movie. I don't know as if I've seen the other movies, but the first movie, pretty great, pretty funny. David Hasselhoff's in there and everything. I didn't realize SpongeBob had these little, I don't even know, underwater flowers in his abode. Oh yeah, that's nice. So fun fact, I recently was watching the music video. Oh, look at the bubble. Can I pop it? Surely can't. I was watching the music video recently for I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That by Meatloaf. And if you don't know who Meatloaf is, or was, that makes me a little sad. He played Eddie in Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was the one who sang Hot Patootie Bless My Soul, and freaking killed it. He also sang Bad Out of Hell, and I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That. And I think that song in our society today is often used as like a joke, right? But if you listen to the lyrics and how he delivers them, so his lady, he's talking to his lady, and she's feeling insecure. She's saying, "You're just gonna run around and cheat on me," and he's saying, "I would do anything for love, and I won't do that." And one of the first things he says is that he won't do that. He won't ever forget how she feels right now, how she feels insecure. Another thing that he says he won't ever forget, or he won't do for love, right, is he won't not dream of her every night. Like, come on. Oh, and the music video. The music video was actually directed by Michael Bay. And Michael Bay, the same one who directed the Transformers movies. So of course there is an explosion in there. like I think right away. I think, and Meatloaf is it's the music video is like very kind of 80s and trippy, and he's playing like Phantom of the Opera / Frankenstein's monster situation, and it's a good one. It's it's a good one. Highly recommend. But yeah, it's just probably one of the best rock ballads ever. Just straight up. So I was very excited to see all that. I had heard it before. I had one of his albums a long time ago, and you know, as a high schooler, I would watch Rocky Horror Picture Show probably more often than was healthy. It was one of my comfort movies. But I hadn't for whatever reason watched the music video, and so it was pretty cool. It was a delight. Oh, the pineapple's like kind of reddish. Okay, can I move this, actually? I can. Oh, okay. Here we go. We're too close. Is this good? Is this good? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, I do like the graphics. I forget what this style is called, and I've seen some really cool artistry where people do makeup in this kind of style, where you've got the dark black outlines and bright colors, and it looks like you're in a cartoon. It's just so cool. Anyway, said I was going to talk about why I made the channel. Yes. So I recently had to say goodbye to my best friend of 11 years. Yes, she's a cat. Her name was Pickle. And Pickle was an amazing cat, first of all. And I know everybody's like, oh, my cat's amazing. And all cats are amazing. Like, let's be real. All cats are amazing. Pickle was very special. She saved our lives, actually. When I was stationed in Quantico, I was in a horrible apartment. And I didn't know it was horrible at the time because I read the reviews, you know, I did read the reviews, but the company had just changed hands, and they set up a new name, and it all had 5-star reviews and everything, and so I thought when we were moving there that it was gonna be legit, and it was not. Ooh, no, what is this? Is this one good? Oh no, that's not a good one. That's not a good one. Okay, we're just gonna... Oh wait, I want the extension. Oh, excuse. Nope. Extra long. Oh yes, that's very satisfying. Where was I? Okay, so yes. So what was happening in this apartment is that there were gas leaks. And gas leaks are very dangerous for many reasons. One of them being risk of explosion. Just, you know, whoops, a little explosion. And this was back in the day when I was still drinking. I don't drink anymore. That's a whole other thing we can talk about if anyone's interested. But I haven't drank in 6 years. I'm 37. And I thought one night that I had been food poisoned, or I had, you know, just I would drink something, drink too much, something. Can I jump? Yes. Oh, and we kind of float. Sick. So I woke up in the middle of the night with this really bad headache. And I thought, oh man, I should just take a shower, and I'm gonna just wash it off, I guess. Wash off the alcohol, wash off the food poisoning, whatever it was. And so I'm in the shower, and I picked up the soap, and I kept dropping it, and my head hurt, and just everything seemed a little bit fuzzy, and I kept dropping the soap. I dropped the soap probably around 14 times, and I just was like, oh man, this is bad. And I don't remember if I took some headache meds or what, but I just tried to go back to sleep. And Pickle, I'm gonna try not to cry. Not that crying is bad, but then I'd have to learn how to edit these videos, and I'm just far too lazy for that. Pickle comes over, and she gets on my chest, and she never does this. She was such a gentle, sweet cat. But she got in my face, and she howled. She just screamed in my face, and I was just like, what? Pickle? I'm just like petting her, and but she would not give up. And so that poor kitty, I didn't realize it at the time. Her poor little lungs, you know, just, I feel so bad, but she was yelling at me to get up, and so something inside me just said, open the window. And so I crawled over because we had literally just moved in, and I was in a sleeping bag on the floor. So I crawl over to the window from the ground, and I open a window, and things start to get a little bit better. And I start to think, oh man, I can't smell anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. They're supposed to add this stinky stuff to the gas, right? But sometimes you can be nose blind. Sometimes you're just sleeping and maybe you don't smell it. I don't know what it is, but I need to get that little spot. That's gonna irritate me. Anyway, I contact management, and they send over, hello, can I just want to, I'd like to put this, please, oh, can I rotate this? Oh, I can, yes, amazing. Okay, now here, can I set this here? No. What about here? Please, okay. Oh god. So I contact management, and they send over a couple of the maintenance people that they have on staff. And the maintenance people literally, I feel like I'm saying literally a lot, but they frankly gaslit me into saying that there was no gas leak. Well, you can buy online those little boop 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 things, little things that detect gas. And I bought one because there was no way it was anything other than that. And sure enough, it arrived next day, and it's going off. It's going off in the apartment. And so I call the people over again, the maintenance people, and they tell me, they tell me that the tool that I have isn't very sensitive, and that it could be reading anything. But as a precaution, right, they decide to fix the pipes. They do something with the pipes, and come to find out, they made it worse. They made it worse because they weren't gas plumbing certified, and that's a whole thing that I'm not entirely sure about, but apparently you have to be, like, if you're going to be working with gas pipes, you have to be plumbing certified and specifically gas plumbing certified. And these individuals were not that. You know, because the apartment community just wants to cheap out, and you would think there's a lot of Marines and FBI and veterans in that area that people would be on the up and up, but nah, they didn't care, because you get a certain amount of money for your BAH, you get a certain amount of money for your housing. They know that number, and so they know they can charge higher prices in that area, and a lot of areas around bases. Anyway, I end up calling out a special gas certified company, and I pay them like $150 to do a full inspection of the water heating unit, which is where, come to find out, was coming from, this closet. And oh yeah, they did the whole water and soapy water trick test, which, if you haven't seen that before, it's pretty neat. It's cheap test you can do. You put some soapy water on the pipes, and then it'll bubble where there's a gas leak. It's not 100%, you know, please do seek expert advice if you're having a problem with that. But sure enough, it was bubbling, but it wasn't bubbling consistently. So these guys were telling me that one of the valves, or all of the valves that were involved in these pipes, had very old valves that would intermittently release gas, and that they needed to be changed over to the new type of valves immediately. Well, apparently the apartment maintenance people, and you know, they're probably doing their best, but yeah, they turned one gas leak into 3 somehow with whatever they did. And so the apartment was just, we were getting gassed, and I didn't have really anywhere else to go with my sweet kitty. Oh, that's a pretty blue. Oh, that's nice. Squidward, you got a nice house. So we were kind of stuck. And I, on the last straw, and it was important that there was a last straw, because I talked to our base lawyer. I'm a Marine veteran, by the way. I talked to the base lawyer, and he told me that, oh, Patrick, hold on. Imagine how many friends you'd have if you were a dirt. Oh, Patrick. He told me that in order to break the lease... Oh no, did Patrick and SpongeBob have a falling out? SpongeBob would still be my best friend if he were dirt? Oh no, drama in Bikini Bottom. Okay, focus. What was I saying? The lawyer told me, in order to break the lease, I would need this incident to occur 3 times. So, on the last straw time, on the 3rd time, when my sweet kitty Pickle and I had to suffer through this freaking gas leak, which I do not recommend. In retrospect, anything would have been better. Anything. Because just explosion. Again, explosion and sudden death, not good. Generally not good. Yeah. He said it had to happen 3 times and then we could break the lease. So here we are. So the night when it happens for a 3rd time, it's like it's real bad again, but at least this time I know to open the window. I open the window and it is the night before a chemistry final that I have. And because I was studying on the weekends and at night, and I was trying to get into vet school at the time. I'm very lucky to be in vet school now. But it was important to me, right? And I'm a little bit older, so it wasn't, my time was running out. My classes started to expire after 10 years, so I needed to do this chemistry final. So, the night after a big gas leak, had to do that chemistry final, aced it, feel pretty good about that, went to the emergency room, where I was promptly yelled at by the staff, the nursing staff, in a good way, though. They were saying, like, why didn't you come in sooner? Because I forget what parameters they ran, but they said we had to contact poison control, the helpline. You've been likely poisoned with methane, and it's in your blood. Like, the evidence is in your blood. After like 5 hours of me being exposed and taking the chemistry test and all that, and it was still in my blood. Poor Pickle. That poor cat. She would keep yelling, by the way. And yeah, I do feel guilty about that. We lived a long time after that. But yeah, I should have taken us to a hotel or anything other than that. It would have been expensive, but yeah. Anyway, so I go to the front office of the management place, and I have my nice little letter from the nice base lawyer, and I go to the manager's office, and I say, we've been having these gas leaks, and I would like to break the lease now. And she says, we've had maintenance people come in and check this, and and they fixed it. And I said, no, they haven't actually fixed it, and this is an ongoing problem. Here's a letter from my lawyer, and the next step is a personal injury lawyer. SpongeBob, it's all coming back to me now. We did cleanup last night. Okay. I'm not going to do a SpongeBob voice. If you were hoping for that, you are sorely mistaken. Gary and I got our second wind and tackled the stubborn stains, and Patrick sleep cleaned the rest with the... We'll never know. We'll never know what Patrick cleaned it with. Okay, so I present this lawyer letter to the management, the person, and she tells me, well, let me see what I can do, because someone else has to take over the lease if we're gonna release you. Okay. And then she proceeds to get on the phone and speak in Spanish to someone, and I spent some time in Panama and Argentina chasing monkeys, which is also another thing we can talk about if you're interested. It was a good time. So I have a very, very basic grasp of Spanish. And the conversation that she wanted me to think that she was having, I knew enough to know that was not the conversation she was having. But after that, after she hung up the phone, she was like, okay, we have someone else who's going to take over the lease. It's like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So we got the frick out of there. We got out of there so fast. We got into a nice new place that I made sure the reviews were correct and weren't for an old business that just happened to be under new management. Oh, good, we made it. And things were fine until we moved out after that. But all that to say, Pickle was an amazing cat. And I had to put her down a couple weeks ago. I think it's a couple weeks at this point, not 1 week. And it's been rough, you know. Putting a pet down is a special kind of grief. Kind of like grieving a loss from a suicide, which my family has also experienced, unfortunately, with my uncle. It's just unique, you know, and really, I guess all grief is unique. But also, I think it's sort of connected. And anyway, I think I've been focusing on self-care and been reading about radical acceptance. And there just came a point in the last couple weeks when, oh gosh, there's a really good graphic novel called Hyperbole and a Half. It's from a little while ago, and Allie is the author, and it's you know, the really old meme that's like all the things, and it looks like it was made in MS Paint, which it probably was. That's Allie's work. She made this graphic novel called Hyperbole and a Half, and she does a fantastic job in that work of describing depression and anxiety. And at some point she talks about these blockbuster movies, I think it was, that she had to return, and they were accumulating fees. Listen here. Back in the day, if you're too young, you don't know, you had to rent movies, physical copies of movies, VHS tapes, if you will. And you got them just like a library book for a certain amount of time. If you don't know how library books work, go to a library. Dear God, go to a library. Support your local business. Focus. You had a certain amount of days, like 7, 10 days, 4 days if it was a blockbuster hit, to return the movie. Otherwise, you started getting these fees, and then it was just the fees were higher than how much the movie cost originally. Anyways. So in this comic, she's talking about how she's reached the point in her depression where she crosses over to the other side and she just doesn't give a fuck. Sorry, I cursed. I cursed there. Whoopsies. I'm trying not to curse. Oopsies. But anyways, she crosses over and she gets on her bike, and she doesn't, she looks freaking hair wild, like just like unkempt, and she's like freaking, she's gonna do it. She's gonna return the tapes. And she does, and she like is just like, the anxiety isn't there anymore. And I've had depression for a long time, and anxiety, and I do have a therapist who's just amazing, and I'm very lucky to have her. But this does happen sometimes, where you just you cross over into this kind of space where you just don't care. And you don't care, but it's in a constructive way. And that's kind of, I think, where I'm at when I started this channel. Was I just, you can just hold off on doing things for forever because you're afraid they won't be perfect, or you're afraid of how you look or whatever. And just, today is the envy of all the dead, just do it. Why not? I can't wait until I get my first hater. Just, so I'm basically a cat lady without a cat. We'll say I'm in between cats at the moment. And Pickle was not my first kitty. My first kitty was Trixie. And Trixie was also an amazing cat. She was feral when we found her in Texas. And she was my childhood kitty. So anyways, the other day, I'm going on my silly little mental health walk. And I'm going to school. I'm going to vet school in the UK right now, and I should probably have used this time off, this spring break that we have, to study and stuff, but that didn't work out. I have been doing a little studying, to be fair. Anyway, I get sidetracked. Anyway, I'm on my mental health walk, right? And I've been doing these walks every day. It's been nice. The sun has been out in the UK, which is just, it's so rare for the sun to come out here. I think that's been one of the biggest cultural challenges here, is just how little sun there is. So it has been amazing. And I've been having my headphones on, listening to Meatloaf, listening to all kinds of stuff. Grief takes a lot of forms, and you just gotta roll with it sometimes. Oh, I'm stuck on a barrier. I'm stuck on the barrier. So I'm on my silly little mental health walk, and I'm listening to Mexican gangster rap, as you do. And this girl in front of me she bites the dust on her bike. Man, she just wipes clean out. I think she ran into a pole. It was bad, and I was the only one around for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly her age. If I had to guess it, maybe around 10. But anyways, she's fiddling with her bike, and I'm kind of approaching, and she's very brave. She's very brave, because here I come, and I'm sure she can hear I'm sure she can hear the rap coming from my headphones, the aggressive, the aggro kind of sounding rap, and she can probably see the black eye and stitches that I'm also sporting at the moment. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It's nothing. And I'm sure that was a little bit scary for her to experience. But she was brave, and I asked if she was okay, and she said yeah, but her bike is messed up. And I took a look at it, and just So if the dirt was dealt with, but our houses were all filthy again by the time we woke up, that can only mean one thing. Oh, who's the bad guy? Who is it, SpongeBob? Who is it? We're off the hook. Oh, that's funny. Where was I? Okay, yeah, so take a look at the bike. The chain is off, that's all it is. It's just the chain's not seated anymore on the gears. And so I just show her. This is like I show her how to put the chain back on the gears, and thankfully it was only off of one of the gears, and our hands got dirty, and I can do it. I can do it. She turns to me and she says, "I'm glad you're here." Yeah. Alright, I cried, but I'm not editing it out. So. I have had a full life, and I have regrets, you know, as you might. I have things I wish I hadn't done, or said, but you know, I'm glad I'm here too, and I like helping, and I've known so many YouTubers and they'll never know me, you know, but they've helped me so much, and it's stuff like this. They're doing little silly Let's Plays and little silly vlogs, and they're just kind of there for you, you know. It's a parasocial relationship. It's, you know, it's not real, but it also is. It's, and I thought, you know, despite everything going on in the world, which is let's not talk about it. You know what it is. We don't have to talk about it. I wish this staircase would plant. Please let me plant you somewhere, please. 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 Here? No? No? Oh. Yes. But I thought, if I could be that person for someone, if I could put into the world something kind of funny, or something, a distraction, or something to just be there for somebody, you know? That'd be pretty cool. So, So, yeah, so, so I thought that would be pretty cool, and something that I wanted to be a part of. Please, yes. So I did it. You know, I did it. Just why not? And that girl got up and went on her way, and and I hope that that bike gives her many years of service. And I'm glad you're here too. And I hope that I remember to say that more often to people. Oh yes, we didn't clean this little thing on Patrick's house though. So anyway, how's your day going? Is it going alright? I hope it's going alright. My day was a little weird. I mean, because I'm doing this, which is it's unnatural. Let's be a little. Let's break the fourth wall. You know, some more. Let's just talking into a camera. Is a little unnatural. It's a little weird, especially if you're not used to it. I'm not used to it. I'm actually a very shy, introverted kind of perfectionist person usually. So it's a little weird because of that, but also I found in the river today on my walk a shopping cart, a full Tesco shopping cart. Well, oh crap, I don't know if I'm supposed to mention brands. Oh god, I'm gonna get immediately canceled. Oh god. Oh, I could have been changing the nozzle this whole time with the little wheel. Now I know. Yeah, so I found a shopping cart from an nondescript store. Totally didn't know what store it came from. And I took a minute and I was like, am I gonna pull this out of the river? I'm gonna get all wet and stuff? Whatever. I'm not made of sugar. So, took it out. Almost fell in a couple times there. Got it out, and thankfully the store of the nondescript store, amorphous store, was just around the corner, so I just rolled it over there, and all of the people who saw me doing that must have thought something about me, because they were putting their dogs on their leads, they were ushering their children away, which makes you think, actually. Because people who need shopping carts in their day-to-day lives, people don't even say hi to them. And that's sad. We've been on a bit of a sad kick today. And that's okay. That is okay. Am I gonna finish this? Squidward's head. I forget that Squidward lives in his own head. What does that mean? Do we think... Is Squidward a narcissist? Is that part of his canon? Is Squidward even a he? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, octopi do have sexes. I don't know if they can be hermaphroditic. And there are so many species in the world. You know, you say something about one species and it's just, watch it be completely untrue for the others. But I do know that octopi, and Squidward is a squid, right? But not an octopus. But he's got all those tentacles. Does he have 8 tentacles? Squidward is getting more and more interesting by the second. Yeah, so I do know that for the octopi, that the female octopus in some species will find a little nook in somewhere under the ocean, and she will lay her babies, and then she will die there. Isn't that sad? She's just there protecting her babies. Now, I don't know if it's a situation where they're eating mama. I don't think so. But maybe it is. So. Wow, we've come full circle right back to the depressing topics. Excellent. Where's your head dirty still? Oh, please. Oh. Okay. Glad we don't take fall damage. Bam. Oh. I feel like I should have prepared with more. Oh. Sea facts. Sea facts. Do I know anything about squid? Did you see that they saw or they found a giant squid recently? Giant squid are terrifying. And also amazing. And isn't that how everything goes, really? Excuse me. I don't know what I'm saying at this point, I'm just rambling. Squidward's brow. Squidward's brow is not clean. Unclean. Oh, look at all this. Oh, please, come on. Come on. Let's just go back here. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense in terms of why I started the channel. And if anything is unclear, sorry. And I don't know how regular I'm going to be with videos and such, or how many I'm gonna make. I'm just gonna do it until it's not fun anymore, I guess. I am gonna be going away to a clinic in June. And by that I mean I'm going to be working at a wildlife clinic. Words are important. Not that it's bad to go to the Grippy Sock Hotel. You know, everybody needs to go there sometimes, and that's okay. Well, maybe not everybody. Maybe there's some neurotypicals among you. Weirdos. But yeah, so we are starting our clinical year, and so we're gonna be doing all clinic all the time, and hours get to be unpredictable, and there's gonna be a lot of learning involved. I'm probably gonna cry. Which, you know, it's like going into it, I mean, even knowing that going into it, you would think it would make it better, but like he was like, oh, there's gonna be some hard moments where I don't remember certain things, or maybe I mess up a drug, or I do something silly and I get yelled at, and it's just like, even knowing it it's still gonna wreck me. I know it's gonna wreck me. It's gonna suck. And no, it's not gonna suck. It's gonna be a good learning opportunity, an opportunity to improve. Yeah. And the thing is that you can fail some of your rotations. So every week we're somewhere different, which would be cool to do, like a stream or different videos each week and talk about kind of where I was. I'm not allowed to talk about our patients, which are animals still, but I'm not allowed to talk about the patients or the clients, which is as it should be. Privacy is important. But I can talk in vagaries, you know. That sounds like it would be a word. Vagaries. So in vague ways. About what I've experienced in that week. Which I think would be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing cases and learning about all the different things. The thing that I didn't anticipate, I guess, and there's a lot to not anticipate about vet school and probably any medical school, is the pedantry. The little details that you are expected to pick up on, and they're super important. They really are, super important. Like, you want to know that something happens a certain amount on average, for instance. Like one of my favorite ones, because it was a question that was once asked that not a lot of us got, but the average gestation length of a chinchilla. I'll let you think about that for a minute. How long do you think a chinchilla is pregnant for? It's 111 days on average that a chinchilla is pregnant for. But that on average, that part of the sentence, very important. Very important, because it could change. Just like with horsies, their little pregnancy length can change drastically. Oh, and here's a fun fact about horse pregnancies. Horses can hold their labor for like a little while. Now I'm already giving bogus information for, I want to say a couple hours. Don't quote me. I'm just a student. I don't know anything, okay? But the point is that they can hold their labor process if they are stressed. And so one of the things they teach us about is trying to educate our horsey clients about, they get really excited, and a lot of things can go wrong during a pregnancy in general for any animal, but for horses in particular for stress. And so the owners really, they're very keen to watch the horse as it's going into labor, and you might get excited and just be looking at and pointing at the horse and just right there, and she probably doesn't want that for her. You might be a very calming presence, and she might love you. I mean, and talking about animal emotions is going to be a whole other thing that I'm not going to get into. But, like, she might trust you completely, right? Let's just say it that way. She might trust you completely, but if you're there watching her go into labor, she still might hold her pregnancy. She might hold off on giving birth while you're there for as long as possible. which is crazy to think about. Animals are so cool. I'm so glad that I was able to get into school and learn as much as I have, because they're like, it's like we're living with aliens, you know. People love to talk about space creatures and all the things that they could do, but they're here. Like they're they're on Earth. There's so much we don't understand about so many different species still, and they're just so cool and beautiful. Oh, here's another fun fact. So I got the horsey people. Let's get the dog people now. I've done probably the cat people. So, dog people. Did you know that packs of wild dogs and wolves, they have a communal lactation system? So that if one of the mama dogs gives birth and is nursing her pups, the other dogs who are not pregnant in the group will also start lactating and feeding the pups. Isn't that cool? That can cause probs for our pet doggies if they have like it's kind of a different process, but still similar. If they have a pseudo-pregnancy, that's not good. You need to see the vet. For all of this, you need to see the vet, by the way. And please don't take my advice as good. Like, just talk to a professional. I'm just a student. Reef blower. Oh, reef blower, like leaf blower, you guys, this is pretty cute. I saw some reviews about this game being too short and the controls are weird, but I like it. I think there's also a Krabby Patty mobile, you know, the one that SpongeBob was learning to drive in, and oh, what's her name? What's the name of the blowfish? I'm not gonna remember it. Miss Hootie? That's not it. That's not it at all. I don't know. I don't remember. Miss Puff? Miss Puff? Maybe it's Miss Puff. Yeah, so I think that there's that later on. There's tiny little pieces that I'm missing here. But yeah, so I think that's all I got. Again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you for watching. And have a good day. Have a I was trying to find a SpongeBob thing to say after that. I don't even know. Have the day that Gary would want you to have. How about that? All right. Take care. Bye. Bye.